And some people might be wondering, why was I invited this morning? You've all been invited, not just because probably you have students or children with disabilities, but also to raise awareness for continuous learning, for all of us to build an inclusive community together, because we all have a part to play. Students with disabilities still face enormous discrimination. When we look at the employment rate of people with disability versus people without disability, the gap is wide. And this platform exists to support parents and also to support students with disabilities. We want to come alongside parents to really make the road a little easier for them by providing research-based teaching, training, coaching, consultation that will help them to support their children better and for them to reach the success level possible for each and every one of them. So I am imploring everyone here to advocate for students with disabilities as much as you can. If you are a CEO, consider hiring them because they have a lot to offer. It might not look like that, but they can. And they have been making a difference in the world when they are given opportunity. Also, you can share this information to those that you know will benefit from it. So please be informed, be empowered, and be inspired. And that is one of the reasons why you have been invited. And I want to thank you for being at the village for us today. I don't want to go through the statistics again today, but because of our time, but this is research as of 2024 that 1 in 36 students in the US, just students, no adults, 1 in 36 have autism, and 1 in 45 adults have autism. Over 7 million school-age children from age 3 to 17 have ADHD, not to talk of adults that have ADHD. So if you do not have a child in your house with a disability, definitely you know somebody who does, or you know somebody who knows somebody who does have it. And together we can all support one another to create an inclusive world where every child feels valued, and they feel seen, and they feel heard. So I do have, I guess, a long agenda today also. Actually, we have a lot of questions. Last month, we started with executive functioning, and today we're doing part 2 because we did not finish. So hopefully today we may be able to answer all the other questions, plus the questions that came in for this month. And I want to thank you, everyone that has sent questions. It really shows that we are paying attention, and this is useful for somebody. But before we get started, I actually want us to exercise our brain. So here is a scenario. You wake up late for work, the kids need lunch, the car will not start. What will you do? Usually I'm supposed to leave my house at 6:30 and I wake up at 6:15. And now I have to prepare lunch for my kiddos to take to school, and I got outside, my car will not start. So I'd like you to unmute and just tell us, what will you do if that is you? Like in 1 minute. Anybody can answer the question.
Well, I guess first you call the school or wherever you were, let them know that you're running late.
Okay.
You go back inside, find something to put together for the lunch or breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Then you either take a bus or take Uber.
All right.
If you have your mechanic I have a mechanic that I call. You let the mechanic know either he can come over later on or tow the car over there. But you just, first of all, you call your employer and let them know that you're running late.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share with us what you would do? I know we have experienced obstacles from time to time in our lives, and we did something to help us. Let me see. If people do not volunteer themselves, maybe I have to volunteer somebody. Anyone want to volunteer before I volunteer you? Yes. Go ahead.
No, I feel no, nothing. I just
Let me see who is here. I can't see everyone, but yeah. So, um, ha. Okay, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I actually see a lot of people here that I can call, but I'm going to let it slide. So thank you, Sister Patricia. So we see that the skill that you use for you to be able to self-regulate yourself. I asked this question a while ago, and somebody said, "Oh, I'm just going to sit down and cry." I'm gonna cry like, oh. And it's okay because we all deal with issues differently. And that is when your executive function skills comes in. That's just one example of it. So for Patricia, what she did, she was able to use our cognitive flexibility and say, okay, this happened. So now let me take a minute. What can I do first? First, I need to call my job. So she was able to regroup and said, okay, I need to do this first. I need to do this first. And then I need to do that. And then I'm not going crazy, It's not the end of the world. This happened, but things does happen in life. And that's really what they call life, because sometimes things doesn't go according to plan. So, and then when that happened and you were able to regroup, you were able to plan, you were able to organize yourself, the that is your cognitive flexibility that you are able to use. This is difficult for some of our individuals with disability. It is difficult for people with autism. It is difficult for people with ADHD, because to plan, to organize can be very challenging for them. So we're not going to go through the rest of the scenario, but we get the idea of what executive functioning skills are. Okay. So students with executive functioning challenges, they may be very bright, they may be very capable, but often they struggle with the skill to plan, to organize, and to start a task, or to stay focused on a task, to finish a particular task. They might forget to bring homework home. They might forget where they put the homework. They might lose the materials that they need to complete the homework, not because they do not have the capability to complete the task, but just because they just not organized. They do not have the organization skill to go through. So some of them will need extra structure. They will need maybe prompt, maybe checklists that help them to stay organized. Some of them might need a system, a support system in place. For instance, with our young kiddos, you might have to do parent-teacher communication on a daily basis, where the teacher makes sure the student have everything he or she needs before he leaves school. And that's what the parents will look into when they get home. And the parent will also have to write back the experience of completing the homework and send it back to the teacher. So we see this support system being built in for this particular child. So sometimes that is what will be needed for some of our kiddos. So executive function skills is actually like the brain air traffic control system. We think of it as the conductor of the orchestra, but that functions in the brain. It's the one that controls the brain to tell the brain what the brain should do, what can you do, what can you arrange. So in order for us to manage our time correctly, in order to stay organized, to remember instructions, to control impulses, and also to juggle multitask successfully. So, and we see that some of our kiddos, they struggle with this. But what can I do? What can we do to support our kids at home? It's actually the question for us today, which is something that we're going to talk about. But I just want us to have a little background of what is executive function is. What are executive functioning skills? What is it? So they're the one that help us to be able to pull out from our memory what we learned before. When we talk about the working memory, they are the skills that allow us to self-regulate, like emotional regulation. They're the one that help us to be able to change plans with flexibility. So we talked about the courses last month a little bit, but the one that I really want to talk about today is the lack of sleep. Some of us, we're probably not sleeping enough. I don't know how many hours of sleep is being recommended for us, maybe based on our age and what we do and who we are as individual. But lack of sleep can also lead to executive functioning challenges. So I think I did mention this a little bit. So the working memory, the cognitive flexibility, and the inhibitory control, those are the core skills of executive function.